How's it going, people? Today I'm going to be talking about Bad Boys for Life on the Digital VUDU stream. And movies have been releasing early due to the whole mess of what's going on in the world today. So this was one of them. And this is one that you can actually check out in 4K HDR with Dolby Atmos. And not every film is available in the 4K HD Dolby Atmos format. I feel like this is the last of them. Everything that you've seen on my channel is all that you can stream as far as releases ahead of time that they have doled out. I haven't checked the new Trolls movie, but even if it is available, I will not be talking about it. And without any other further ado, this is my first time actually seeing this movie, so what did I think about it? This movie was a lot of fun and very interesting. Now, this is the second series to lose Michael Bay, and he has a very particular aesthetic to his films. A lot of action and a lot of zaniness, comedy that just feels very juvenile and just incessant characters that get on your nerves, or at least my nerves sometimes. And here, you can definitely sense the absence of Michael Bay. You have characters that I actually really, really like here. And to my surprise, I did like Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, but the whole secondary characters that are brought into this movie, yes, they do seem like they want them to carry on the franchise because, let's face it, we're getting a sequel to this movie. It did great. I genuinely liked these guys. I liked their personalities, and I got on their side pretty quickly. And that means a lot for these movies because it's not like they're character pieces. They've just got to have a shtick that works, and I gotta like it, and I did. You have a whole new plot line here that I won't get too into. It does get kind of crazy, but not on the whole Michael Bay level. But what I will say is it never reaches just the depravity and the just over-the-topness that Michael Bay tends to gravitate to. Now, I will say that goes for the action as well. I like the action in this movie. I feel like it is very well filmed and staged. It doesn't have the grandeur of, let's say, Bad Boys 2. That was the best part of that movie, and the action in that movie is great. This movie does not step it up, and it doesn't feel like an evolution in this franchise as far as the action is concerned. Feels like a step down, and I can see why, because the budget on this movie definitely got slashed as well. I feel like it is like, I think it said 60 million? 60 million? Either 60 and $90 million. And that isn't a lot when you consider where this franchise has come from. But with all that being said, I really did like this movie, and I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. And getting into the video quality here, this movie was actually given a 2K digital intermediate, but it was shot digitally, and you can tell this is a pretty clean stream. And I would say that there is grain here, but it is very, very light, and this is a very crisp presentation. I feel like the edges here are very crisp and defined, and I definitely feel like there were some softer elements, specifically in wider shots. You don't see that crispness that you see with the close-up shots, but beyond that, I really did like the clarity here and detail work, specifically in Martin Lawrence's faces. He's gotten rough, and you can tell the guy, he's got some, he's aging, and you can see it on his face. You can see it on Will Smith's face too, and it is all here. And along with that, you just get a lot of explosions, and in the action moments, you can see dust and debris flying around. Great detail work here, and along with HDR, I feel like black levels here are the focal point, and you know what, they are very well contained here, and they make those pops of color that happen in this film really pop, and they stand out. when an explosion goes off, you can definitely tell that pop of color because of the contrast of those black levels. And along with that, you do get more natural facial features than I would say that the 1080p version has. I feel like this is just really good. And you know what? I'm actually going to give it an 8 out of 10. I feel like this is pretty good as far as streaming goes. And getting into the audio here, this was given a Dolby Atmos mix for streaming. I am glad because it is glorious. I feel like bass response is the star of the show, and it definitely thuds. And you definitely notice the multi-levels of this bass response, the low lows and the higher frequencies. Speaker separation is top-notch, just all around you, not just in the front speakers like Sonic was. I feel like this separates it a lot and gives a lot of the action to the back speakers as well as the fronts. That is great. Height speaker work could use more oomph, but I feel like that has a lot to do with compression. This is definitely getting a 9 out of 10 for me, and man, this is looking pretty good for the physical Dolby Atmos mix. If that just comes across just a little bit beefier in the height speakers, might even be a 10 out of 10. I'm hoping for it. And so there you go, guys. I really did like this one. I gave it an 8 as far as the video quality and a 9 as far as the audio quality. That can even go up with the physical presentation. You know, compression with digital streams right now tends to compress things, and clarity as far as the video quality is definitely one of those areas. It can get better from here, and I hope it does. So coming up next on the channel, I'm going to be going through a little bit of a lull as far as new material goes, but I do have some things that I've always wanted to do for you guys that, you know what, I'm going to have time for. So let's just see how they go. And let me know what kind of videos you guys want to see from me during this lull, and any releases you want me to review that I have not thought of yet. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. You guys are awesome. I don't need to say it because you know it, guys. And I will see all of you next time.